So one of our like big inspirations now producing music is like Lose a Child. We'll like do reference tracks for some of our songs. So we'll have like our master in there, and then we're like, okay, like let's compare it to this Lose a Child track. And then I'm like working on it, I'm like, bro, we can't get it to this, or like ours doesn't sound like this. And it's just like, that's fucking professionally done. I need to remind myself, like, we don't have that. We're working towards that. It's that trade-off, right? It's like you want to, it gives you that hunger, but you expect yourself to just get there. It just takes time.
You can't compare your behind the scenes to someone's highlight reel. Quote me on that. I found it on Instagram.
Welcome back to another episode of the Kurative Podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Sutarji, and I have two guests today, Josh and Rob of Nbdy Nprtnt. Josh and Rob have been longtime friends before they started their music producing and DJing careers as Nbdy Nprtnt. As a duo, they help produce and collaborate with many artists from many different genres and always play a wide range of music during their shows. These guys are funny as hell, but I definitely saw the passion when we talked about making music. In this episode, we talk about finding a business partner you can be honest with, deciding when you're done with a project, and having realistic expectations when working towards your goals. Enjoy the show. Hello everyone. Before we get to the episode, I just wanted to say thank you for everyone who is watching the podcast on YouTube and listening to the episodes on all the podcast apps. There are many other ways to support the podcast. A few are to rate and write a review on iTunes. If you got value from the episode, you can share it with a friend, and you can email me at hello@kevinsutarji.com and tell me your story about which episode resonated with you. Also, when I announce my guest for the episode on Instagram and ask for questions, you can DM me your question for my guest. Lastly, you can subscribe and be part of the notification squad by opting in on getting notified on YouTube or any podcast app whenever a new episode is released. Thank you and enjoy the show. Cool. So Josh, Rob, thank you for coming to my podcast.
No problem.
Yeah, dude, we're stoked.
For the audience that don't know you, why don't you guys talk about yourselves and kind of like the history to where you guys are now?
You want to go first?
No, you can have this one.
Oh boy. All right. Well, my name is Josh, Los Gatos, California. Born and raised in the Bay Area. I grew up doing sports a lot, so that was kind of a nice structure for my life, just growing up doing a lot of sports and being able to have something to kind of keep me going and give myself a structure. I just growing up in Los Gatos was cool. I had a lot of close friends, and being able to be there was just nice because I had a nice area where I could kind of hang out, feel safe and everything like that. And then kind of going into high school is when we got a lot closer, and we didn't really work on music then. But as we, got closer, college came around. So I was like, well, what are we going to do here? We stayed pretty close after college, and then now we're here.
We're not friends. I don't know why I'm saying this stuff.
That's rough, bro. I went to college for 4 years, so I was up in Oregon, which was awesome. Super nice to get out of California and kind of get a big change of, pace. And then coming back here, it's been nice just because I kind of got a level head while I was up there. And then coming back here, I kind of took away a lot of stuff being up there, which I've been able to kind of transfer down here, which has been super cool.
And how'd you get into music specifically?
Oh, man. Well, I grew up listening to a lot of music, Sum 41, like Good Charlotte, Blink-182, all the good classic stuff for kind of our age. It wasn't really until like my freshman year of college when I went to a music festival for the first time. I'd gone to like country concerts in high school, the whole Shoreline deal, but never anything electronic or anything like big festival-wise. And one of my teammates actually took me to a festival in Washington called Paradiso. I don't know if you've heard of it.
No,
super cool.
No.
It's at the Gorge, an amazing venue, super cool artists. And we went there and I had this just like insane experience like that I've never experienced. Well, that didn't make sense. This insane experience that I loved. It was just cool because I'd never been exposed to that type of music and that type of like environment. And so after that, I kind of knew I wanted to do something in music. I just wasn't sure what it was. And then as I kind of got in like sophomore year, junior year, me and my teammate who actually brought me there we split a tractor S4. So we started DJing, doing little stuff at like house parties and everything. And then it really wasn't until like senior year where I was like, I think I want to start producing. So I got like a cracked version of Ableton, shout out all the crack plugins and whatnot.
Yeah,
but I got what?
Not shout out. That was a joke.
Don't get crack plugins. But yeah, so I got Ableton and started making like mashups, you know, all the normal stuff. And then I was originally trying to go into artist management, was actually kind of really what I was looking to do. I interviewed with Red Light Management down in Los Angeles, and I thought I did great. The interview went well. I was like, nice. I was waiting to hear back from him. Week went by, nothing. 2 weeks went by. Hit him up, and I was like, hey, have you guys heard anything? And this is when I was kind of on the fence of like, if I get this, I'm probably going to move to LA, start doing artist management, do the whole internship and everything. Or if I don't get it, I'm kind of move home. We'll start working on music together and kind of see where it goes.
Actually, before you go on, for artist management, what got you interested in doing that? And like, you know, were you the type of person that liked to manage certain people?
I think I'm good with people. Like you know, at my job right now, I teach and I work with people, and I've had a good knack for just kind of being able to see what people can do and working with them. And so artist management, because at the time I didn't know producing was anything in the realm of like what I wanted to do. So I was like, oh, artist management would be super cool, you know, because that was like the next biggest thing for me. It was like, if I'm not an artist, like managing them, you're your right-hand person, you're always there, you're traveling, you're doing everything they need. Like managers are just as important as the artists in terms of getting them shows or just publicity or whatever it is. So I was like, I want that, you know, I want to have that relationship with an artist where I can feel like a part of that team. And so I was like, artist management, it's like that perfect realm. And I knew I wanted to do something in music. And then that 2 weeks went by, and the same day I emailed them, they actually emailed me back and said, oh, sorry, position's been filled, good luck.
Oh man.
Yeah. And that was the sign. I was like, all right, well, I'm moving home. We're gonna start doing this. And I was always hesitant about it too. Like I would always hit him up every other week, like, I don't know, should we do this? Like, are we gonna do it? And he's like, you can do what you want. I'm doing it with or without you. Like it's gonna happen.
I'm his second choice, just to put that out there. That's what we're taking from that story.
Yeah.
I was the second choice.
Yeah, so
fallback plan.
Yeah, right, exactly. I was like, if this doesn't work out, I'm gonna go work with him. But no, you know, obviously it worked out for the better. I wouldn't be here doing what I am right now if it wasn't, you know, for my teammate who got me to the festival. Shout out Bryce, you're the best. And just kind of like get that no, which opened up a whole nother door for me, which was super cool.
So then, you know, Rob's your second choice.
That's the worst way to put it.
But like that's what I took.
I mean, yeah.
So before you picked your second choice with Rob, what was your story getting to, you know, working together?
All right. So we grew up together, and like we always did other stuff. We were big into like skimboarding, surfing, skiing, snowboarding, a lot of different type of like sports we did together. And I played music my whole life, so I was always into music. And about like 2 years out of high school, I started getting into actually producing with Ableton. And kind of
crack version or
no real version.
Okay.
Real version. Yeah, I went and
right
saw
way.
a guy, and yeah, he recommended me Ableton and an interface, and that's what I started with. Kind of the opposite of him. He started with DJing. I started with producing.
Okay.
And that's where we kind of met in the middle, is because when he was out in school, he's like, yo, I started DJing. And I was like, yo, I started producing. So when he came back home, I was showing him stuff in Ableton. He was showing me DJ stuff. He was collecting a bunch of music for DJing, and I was collecting a bunch of like samples and plugins to, you know, learn more. And when he was in Oregon going to school, I was going to school down here at SAE. I was getting an audio engineering degree for interactive audio.
What is SAE?
It's a private college. It used to be Expression, but they actually got bought out by SAE. So I technically graduated from SAE.
Okay.
But yeah, it's an interactive audio degree. Yeah, technically. My degree says SAE on it, so that's all that matters. But yeah, and then he was figuring out the artist management stuff, and the whole time I was telling him like, yo, like I'm gonna make music. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna figure something out in the music realm. If you want to be a part of it, that'd be awesome. Because we were best friends at the time. Even though he was away for school for 4 years, we continued to be best friends over long distance. You could say it was a long distance relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what kind of got us to where we are now. It was like, I'm doing this. If you want to do it with me, go for it. If not, I'm going to have to figure this out on my own. But it'd be really cool to have somebody there with me. And he kind of went full speed from going to college for a degree in DJing into learning how to produce, learning how to record, learning how to do all these things that, you know, he probably never thought about before. It was all these things that I was kind of like doing at school, and he had never even thought about it. So he got a degree. he came down here, got another degree for audio. And I think that just kind of showed me that he was committed, because he was calling me when he was up there like, hey man, like, are we going to do this? And I was like, shut up. I was like, you're so annoying. It's like a nagging girlfriend. Yeah. And I was like, I like
the best kind of girlfriend.
Right. Well, yeah, one that produces, damn. But yeah, I don't know. We agreed on what we wanted to do in audio and what we wanted to do with music and what we wanted to showcase for the world. And then once he moved home, it was, where are we going to go? Where are we going to take our brand? What are we going to do? And it was just building it step by step. And we're still building it as we sit here and talk to you about it. But we're figuring it out. And we're doing a lot of stuff now that we weren't doing last year, and we did a lot of stuff last year that we didn't do the year before. So we're just continuing to progress on a fast scale and continue to go places we've never been before.
Yeah, that's really cool. Like, so were you always into electronic music, or did you discover it late in college, similar to Josh?
Give him the backstory, baby.
Oh man, I got into electronic music in high school. So did he.
High school, sorry.
Yeah. Well, he didn't say that, but I know it's high school because No Beef came out when we were in high school, and Steve Aoki, No Beef.
No Beef was there, but I also like Zed's Dead, Mount Eden. Like I was in the bass scene.
Yeah, like the melodic dubstep is what got us into it. Same with like Steve Aoki, Kid Cudi remix, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Project X movie where they had that remix in there. It was like, yeah. So like that's what got me interested in it, but I never thought about making it.
When you started to make music, you guys already knew that you guys had similar taste in music.
Oh yeah.
What was nice is it was similar, but like we each had our own like areas that we really liked. Like him, he could play piano, so like pop stuff, like he could get right, and like me, I was like kind of on my punk stuff, and kind of like reggae. I love reggae, like that's one of my biggest like genres that I listen to. So like we had that similar overlay, but we also had like our each areas that we kind of like focused on more that we could like share with each other, which was cool.
Yeah.
So when you guys did decide to work on a project together, music project, did you guys know exactly what you wanted to work on right away? Or are you just like,
God, no.
Fuck, let's try this.
Yeah,
let's
literally.
try that. We don't know what we're doing.
We still don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
No, we like such a large variety of music that it influences in so many ways. So we make so much music. We produce R&B, we produce rap, we produce indie, pop, EDM, multiple genres of EDM. It's like we do all this for us and clients, so it's kind of like we're just everywhere. Like,
So then you guys have kind of like two areas. One is the way I'm seeing it, like for Josh and Rob, it's working with different artists, like rappers, singers, and then there's Nbdy Nprtnt, which is more like the EDM side.
Yep.
Which one did you guys work on first, and then how did you get to the other part?
Oh, neither.
Neither.
You want to tell them?
So we originally started as Josh and Rob, which was also known as Junior ... like 3 periods after it. And so when we first started producing and like actually getting like stuff that we thought was good at the time, looking back now, it's like, what the fuck was that? You know what I mean?
That's always the
but,
case.
Yeah, I mean,
always.
Oh yeah,
Trash.
for sure. Always. Like it was straight garbage. But we started getting to the point of like, okay, we're doing like hip hop tracks now, we're doing EDM tracks. And so as Junior, we kind of saw this like overlay that didn't necessarily like meet with each other. And so another thing was Junior was like the most random name, and there were so many other Juniors on Apple Music. Like when you Google Junior, you get millions of hits, right? Yeah. You search Nbdy Nprtnt the way that we spelled it, we're the first thing that comes up, or Josh and Rob.
Nbdy Nprtnt.
The correct spelling. But yeah, so we saw like there was 2 separate genres, and we were like, these just don't work together. Like how can we still do what we want to do creatively with both these projects, but keep it in their own direction? And so that's when, I don't even know when, probably like 2 years ago, we decided like, hey, well, we need to make these their own separate thing. Like Josh and Rob's going to be all of our hip hop, all of our trap, like rap, all that stuff.
Right.
Year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Because we didn't drop our first song as Nbdy Nprtnt until a year ago.
Okay.
And we probably had Nbdy Nprtnt
yeah.
locked in 6 months before that.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And so then we started making this EDM stuff, and it was like, we always, we're thinking of the end of it, right? As a fan, if you hear like this crazy banging trap, like whatever it is, and then we come out with this like future-based track. You're like, whoa, like what just happened, right?
Right.
And so we were like, we need to keep these kind of in their own realms. And so that's when we're like, okay, we'll do Nbdy Nprtnt for the EDM, and then we'll keep Josh and Rob for the hip hop stuff.
Yeah, I feel like, if I'm going on SoundCloud, because I know you guys post music on SoundCloud.
Mm-hmm.
When I go on SoundCloud and like follow an artist with, I like this track and I want to know more of this artist, and I listen to the other songs, I kind of expect a sort of similar feel. Yeah. So like,
sure.
Yeah, I mean, even though I love trap, I love hip hop, and I love EDM, if I'm hearing all these three things, I might kind of be thrown off.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. So in terms of Josh and Rob versus Nbdy Nprtnt, how do you split your time between those two and work with different artists?
So we split our time by, we always prioritize what songs are coming out next. So if it's songs for other people we're doing or songs for ourselves, we prioritize like, hey, we have to get this done, and this done. But it's for Nbdy Nprtnt and Josh and Rob, we don't say like, oh, we're just gonna work on EDM today or just hip hop. We're doing both all the time. And it's where the people fall into the categories. Like one of the artists we're working with right now, his name is Dov at Active Poet. And when we met him, the first song he did was for Nbdy Nprtnt.
Okay.
And now we're doing stuff for Josh and Rob. So it's like we're doing both with one artist, but it's the songs that we're doing that fall under the right category.
Right.
So we can work with them wherever they fall into, but if the song isn't in the right category, we won't put it out under that one. If it turns in from like an EDM style track to like a rap song, we're going to put it out under the right stuff. We actually also collabed with ourselves on our EP that we dropped. It was Nbdy Nprtnt featuring our ex Josh and Rob.
Yeah, with Josh and Rob.
And I actually like sing on it, so technically we're like collabing
like
with me too.
Way.
Yeah,
it's just a 3-way banger.
Yeah, my name's not on it though.
Flute digger though.
Yeah, and flute digger.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then it's kind of cool that you guys don't have to worry about getting out of your boundaries of like working with an artist on only EDM or on only hip hop. So
sure.
It's really cool. So then how do you make sure that you're not working with too many artists all at once? When
We
you're
are.
trying to really, you are.
We always.
Yeah, we are. We are working with too many
up.
people right now.
Are you guys always working every night?
Yeah.
Okay.
Every single day. We are at the studio from whenever we get there to 10 to 12 at night.
Yeah.
Is this your full-time job or?
No.
No, this is your just
No,
side.
technically the studio's our full-time job and we work part-time
To get
in
money.
retail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, for sure.
He does some pretty cool stuff there. I'm just a sales associate. But we make that work towards us, it's both in the realms. We need computers to do the things we do. We need
for sure.
audio gear to do the things we do. So it kind of benefits us in more ways. And we've actually met some clients and people at our jobs.
So then when it comes to working with artists, like how do you start the project? Because, there are different people with different styles, different genres, different ways of creating a track. And then obviously you guys I'm assuming you guys provide the beat and they provide sometimes vocals or something else in the beat, like when you work with Checky.
Yeah.
How do you guys start that process?
Chicken tenders.
Chicken tenders.
Chicken tenders.
The chicken tenders, a little backstory behind that.
I was
Dov,
very confused.
Right?
like,
Right?
what's
Yeah.
that?
Like,
Chicken
that?
tenders.
Like, you guys go to
You're like, oh yeah,
McDonald's?
chicken tenders.
Like, really? McDonald's is
so,
how they make music?
But basically, it depends on the artist. But the chicken tenders, what they are, so Dov, who we're working on this 8-song EP with, this, I don't even know, the second day or third day we had him come through the studio, we were like, hey, well, let's work on a track together. Like, let's do something, we just want to get two creative spaces, or get two creative people, I guess 3 in this case, just working on something. He's a super cool guy, like puts off an incredible vibe, super dope, just amazing person to work with. And the way that we like to kind of structure our hip hop stuff is what we'll do is we go and just make what we're called beat ideas, where we basically, one of us, or we'll both just work on beats. We save them. They're not necessarily finished. We leave them kind of as a work in progress because we want to be able to structure it for the artist that we're working with. So Dov came in and we were just going through beats and we eventually just started racking them up. He's like, I like this one, I like this one, I like this one. 5, 6, 7, 8 tracks later, we called them the chicken tenders because they were the contenders for the beats.
Okay.
So the chicken tenders came out of that, and then it was just like, what do you want for this? Like, how can we make this fit your style? How can we work with you to get you to feel as comfortable as you want with something like this?
I
So-
feel
Sorry. So just to like clarify, then are you guys working on the beats separately and then like just giving him like a list each, or do you guys work together on every single beat?
We work together on everything.
Okay.
We are
starting the beats. No,
starting the beats definitely not.
It'll be separate. Like one of us will make something.
If it's trash, like it gets thrown away. The other person doesn't touch it. But once it's like, hey, this is cool, we're like, hey, come on, hop on it.
Are you guys always, on the same page when it comes to the music, the track?
Mostly
99% of the time. Yeah.
The nice thing is like, and we're both comfortable with this, and this is something that is like huge, especially when you're working with other people, is like you can't take things personally.
Yeah.
So 100%. He'll come in, I'll be working on something for like an hour, and I'm like, this is the dopest shit I've ever made. Like, yo, what the fuck? I'm like, check this out. And he's
shit's
like,
whack.
Yeah. And he comes in, he's like, bro, that shit sucks. And I'm like, fuck. I'm like, all right. You're like, it's amazing having another pair of ears to be able to hear what you're working on and get that feedback right away, but not from like an attacking-ish type of place. It's a constructive, like, hey, this would work with this, or this won't work with this. And so having like the two brains on it really helps progress things and really keeps things in the direction that we want it to go.
So are you guys actually saying things in a nice way, or are you guys literally saying shit's whack?
No.
This sucks?
Oh no, we say whatever we feel. Every single time. Like, we're not going to sugarcoat it. We're very straight up about it. That's like one of the main things. If you're not very like forward about it, you're trying to like kind of sugarcoat it, you're trying to like, like maybe not hurt their feelings or something, it's gonna maybe come off in a different way that you mean it, and they'll be like, oh, okay, well, like I just have to change something, like not trash it, like throw that shit away, stop working on it, we got real stuff to do, like stuff like that. And then like you sleep on it, you come in the next thing, you listen to it, you're like, wow, like, really, that shit sucked. Like, I did that. Oh man.
Okay, so how do you keep your ego in check then? Like, besides the fact
this
that
kid kills me.
Oh really? Every single time he's just
no, it's not. It's not even me. No, he tells me stuff all the time too. No, don't make me to be the bad guy. Yeah,
it's my job.
No, I don't know. I think since we've been friends for so long, we've always had that, like, if I'm not messing with you, like, are we really friends? Like, if I don't like say like, hey, your shoes look funny, but really like they aren't that funny, like, I don't know. Like, we've always chirped each other and just kind of like came at each other as like a joking way. Like, I'm very sarcastic. Yeah. You probably noticed that already.
Yeah,
like,
I definitely noticed that.
like I say it with a straight face, but I don't mean it. Like, it's just like how I am. And I don't know, like, we just talk about it. We find the common ground. And then once the common ground's there, we're like, okay, yeah, I agree. Done. Like, move on to the next. Like, we have too much work to do to like have a pity party about like, oh my God. You hurt my feelings.
Right. No, I mean, that's really good, because like, you guys are best friends. That really helps. But like, did you guys
used to be best friends?
Used to be. Now you guys are coworkers. Like,
damn.
No, I don't even know who this is.
Are you about to break up?
No, we're still best friends.
Who is it?
We see each other more than our families.
Yeah.
I see him more than my girlfriend.
Damn.
Yeah. So, but I think what's good about that, like, like, even though he started producing before me, like, we're both learned everything together. Yeah. Like, we literally started in his bedroom. I sat on this fucking tiny ass little chair. My ass would get
drum stool.
Numb. Yeah, a drum stool. Yeah. My ass would be numb after like an hour, but like we were just in there just logging in hours, you know what I mean?
I don't think we should say that we started in the bedroom and now your ass is numb. I just feel like that's not the right way to put this.
I mean, it's not wrong.
We started producing in a room that had a bed in it, and he was on a stool, which was very uncomfortable, so his butt got sore. Not from anything else. All right.
I think the audience appreciates that explanation.
They need
clear
clarification.
Clear the air, okay.
Or else people would just ask questions. So then, did you guys work on projects together, or like, did you guys work on anything together before you did music together?
Yeah.
Because how'd you know, even though you're friends, doesn't mean you can really work well together, you know?
The first project we did, he was on winter or spring break, and it was in my room before he graduated. And we just, I don't even know what it was, but it was awful. It was just bad.
But it was like we're both learning at the same time, you know? Yeah. Like, we like, what is this Ableton thing? Like, we're making an audio track. Oh, well, what's MIDI? Okay, now, like, we need to play something in here. And then we need to add, like, some drums into it. So it was so much experimentation and just, like, figuring out what the fuck everything was. Yeah. That we're both, like, learning and just taking in our own things at the same time.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So then how do you guys make sure that, because I'm working on videos all by myself, but when it comes to working with like a partner or something, sometimes it's difficult when you don't have the right vision. So I know you guys said you're still figuring it out yourselves, but have you guys ever had a chance to talk about, or have an opportunity to talk about, like, hey, I actually think of this, and you guys are, Rob, you're thinking about something else.
We overthink everything. And that's like one of our strong suits is we think about everything and like every possible outcome, and we like fine tune it into like where we should go, what we should do. So we're constantly talking. Like before we like leave at the end of the night, we usually have some sort of like debriefing. Okay. We always talk about what we're doing at the time, right? Well, it's just like, and it's like if I'm not going to make it to the studio that day, and like I know we have to get something done that I don't know if he put on his to-do list, like I'll be like, hey, like make sure we do this, and then like, he'll do the same to me, like, hey, like we forgot to do this, can you send that to someone, or like I need this done.
Right.
And so we're always talking about it, but in like the terms of like our brand and still figuring it out as we go, we've always had the same message as us. Like we want to create content for people in a positive way and just be heard by everybody.
Yeah,
like we're not in it for anything else except for like providing for ourselves at the same time as getting our music and content out to the world. Because like we started a vlog just because like our friends and the people we have in the studio are so funny.
Shit.
Dude, I've seen, like I said before, I've seen your guys' vlogs. It's so funny. You guys are ridiculous.
And like all we did was just turn on a camera, but that's been going on for the past 2 years we've had the studio.
Yeah.
It's been going on for the past my whole life.
Yeah, just about all these people.
You guys are finally alive once you started the blog.
Exactly, so. Right? Oh man.
So speaking about the studio, actually, so I wanted to ask, like, when did you guys realize that you wanted to invest fully into a studio? Because I went through like your guys' old Instagram. I think on Josh and Rob. I've been stalking you guys. Yeah, I got to do my homework.
You got to do your homework. Yeah.
Yeah, and I saw like a time lapse of you guys making your desk together. Yeah, the desk for the studio. That must have cost a lot to like get the space. Because is that one of you guys' place? Like
it's a real studio. We rent. It's a building, has 3 studios in it. We rent the back studio, Studio C.
Okay.
But it was investment that we decided because we wanted to make a place where we can do what we want to do and kind of build this hub that we're trying to do, connect people, make music, do all these things that isn't where we sleep or where our family lives or where we're renting. Like it's
like
just
this place.
Exactly. But this is a little different though. It's like a podcast. You know what I mean? Like we're trying to like have people come and like DJ on our decks to like practice for shows and stuff. And like if I'm doing that at my mom's house or something, like it's not gonna really fly at 12 a.m. or something. You know, where like most people have time because they do have other jobs, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it was my decision to grab the studio. It's the building's actually owned by my dad.
Okay, cool.
So that's kind of the backstory for it. And I propositioned a deal with him.
Okay.
I pretty much told him I need 1 year of free rent for that place. You at least owe me that. I'm your son, right? You named me after you. Like you owe me big.
Oh yeah, I think definitely.
I'm the third, and I pretty much said I need a year free so I can spend all of my money on building this studio, and then after that we will pay rent. And so we spent the whole first year just buying everything, just building it, figuring it out, what plugins we need, all the computer stuff, just building it into something where we can record, mix, master, do all this stuff at a high level and have it all be our own stuff. Yeah, we don't have to go someplace else to do it for anything.
Yeah, I feel like once you have that realization that you need to start investing and you really want to be serious in it, like that's, you got to kind of go all in, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sure. And at least with the basics, because like, at least for me, I wanted to start a podcast, and I'll say this, like, I don't think buying equipment before, like saying that equipment is what's going to bring you to the next level it's not really a good advice. And you shouldn't stop yourself from doing something without the equipment, right? Sure. But when I wanted to do a podcast, I was like, I got to buy these Shure SM7Bs and the cameras and all that.
If anybody goes and looks at our studio from this, we went totally overboard, all right? We wanted it to be in your face, aggressive. We want people to look at it and say, wow, I want to go there. That's why we did that. We don't need half the stuff in there. Yeah. We don't need it, but we want it if we want. And we have fun doing it, and we do it all in a fun fashion too. We worked for what we did. We were working 5 days a week at that time, and we were just spending all of our money that we were making from our job on stuff and it was cool. It was a cool experience to just like have fun buying things.
Yeah.
Like as weird as that sounds, like it was just cool to be like having a list of stuff and be like, this is what we will get in the next year, and just cranking it out one by one, figuring out what fits our setup the best, what's the best thing for us to do, and what's the best for the price. Because that's the one thing, we didn't just buy the nicest stuff. We were like, all right, what's the most bang for my buck?
Yeah. And did you know what you're going to use each equipment for, or did you kind of just bought whatever?
Well, no. Everything that we bought is for a specific purpose, but that purpose changes, and also it doesn't always work out the way we intended it to.
Okay, so has there been any equipment that you bought that you guys regretted buying?
Not me, but not him. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, but I mean, not too many. It's been like, it hasn't been anything like detrimental.
Right.
It's like a beat pad. And it like just sits there and collects dust, or like a little synth, and it just kind of sits there. It hasn't been like, oh, we're gonna buy this like $5,000 like preamp, or like anything that is just like stupid expensive or just like fucking pointless. It's been like stuff like, oh, this might be cool, we could do some dope shit with it, and then it's like we realize we can just do the same thing with the other shit faster.
If it doesn't integrate into our workflow and it doesn't work, we took a loss. But what's cool about it is we just sell it and get more stuff with that money.
That's true.
So yes, we bought something for $400 and we sold it for $300. So we're losing $100, but we took that $300 and bought something else that we still use, because we figured out what we need from getting the wrong thing.
For sure.
So everything that we get, we either sell it to get more stuff, or we keep it because we use it eventually.
Cool.
Yeah.
And some of the equipment your clients and like people that you collaborate uses as well, right? So you're saying that you brought people in to help, you know, if they want to practice DJing for like an event, you know, come over and like use your space. Like, what do you guys do? Do you guys rent it out, or?
Most of no, because
you gotta be a homie.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like how it is. It's not like we're sending like open invites like, yo, if you want to come practice like on our decks, like come through. Like it's people who we're working with, or people that we fuck with, you know what I mean? Like that we see their grind, we see their vision, we their music, like whatever it is, and we want to help them. Like, how can we help you get better at what you want to do, or whatever it is? And so being able to have that space to be able to offer that is just huge. Like we had Young Citrus come through like last week because he wanted to practice on CDJs before he played a show, and it was like cool. We played like a 2-hour back-to-back set, just us three just dicking around in the studio. But like to be able to have that creative space where you can have someone come in, like he brings in his sample or his sound library. I'm like fucking taking photos of all of his shit. I'm like, I need this track, I need this track, and like the same thing with him, right?
Him and Shecky went back-to-back too at our producer meetup. That was cool.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So shout out to Young Citrus and Shecky.
For sure. Justin and Kevin are the boys.
Yeah.
But just being able to like offer that is huge. Just because one, it's helpful for them, but two, it's like we're bringing another brain and we're bringing another creative person into that space where we can kind of work with them and like do dope shit with them, which is cool.
Yeah, I actually have considered trying to get space for myself, like a video studio, and then like, you know, maybe at least a little office or desk just to work. And I don't maybe like if I do my podcast, I can do it there
for sure.
Because as of right now, like I have to worry about my roommate coming in, and I don't want her to like be too self-conscious about like not making noise and all that shit. And so it's cool that you guys got, you know, I really want to know, you know, the benefits that you guys found for having your own studio. I
think another thing about it, and this is kind of something that we learned from a mixing and mastering engineer named Alex Tomei, who's been like huge up and coming producer or mix and master for a bunch of producers and like hip hop, like Young Thug, Kenny Beats, that type of stuff. He talks about after he got his mixing studio out of his house, how his life just changed, because it changes your mindset in terms of like, I'm going to work to do this. Like, yes, I get to do the dopest shit ever. Like my job is like, I'm listening to music, I'm mixing it, or like we're making tracks or doing whatever, but treating it as work where you have that, like, I'm going to that space to do something intentional. And then you have that release of like being able to come home. You don't have to worry about anything. You can just go chill in your bed or like do whatever. So getting that like work mindset in terms of like, I'm taking my time out of my day to go to this place because I need to do these types of things. But there's always like the opposite, like Getter moved from a studio into his house because he felt more comfortable. So it just depends on the person. But I think hearing about like how you treat it as work is huge, just because yes, you're doing creative stuff, but you get in that work flow, and you get in that mindset of like, I'm going to this place to go do something intentionally.
If we could have the same setup that we have now inside, like, you know, like a 2-story house and live with a bunch of people and not get bothered, we totally would.
Yeah.
But the reality of that and actually having like a secure place and not having people bother you when you're in the house and stuff, it's just not a reality.
Yeah.
Is it like, it's too expensive, right?
It's too expensive. It's unrealistic.
Yeah, that's
at
the
least
problem.
for like the setup we have, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's a build studio. There's double thick walls, double doors.
Yeah.
You know, it's just built for tough Ford.
Yeah. How long did it take for you to build your studio? Like
we're still building it.
You're still building it.
I mean, like to get the fundamentals, like to get like we had like when we first started, we worked on this tiny fucking desk. Like that thing sucked ass, and so
We still have that desk. Don't talk shit.
I mean, I know
it's gonna watch this, and that desk is gonna break on you.
It's holding it down.
Yeah.
But we basically built of like what we want in like our real studio, and slowly we started checking things off the list. We got tax returns, spend money on tax returns on that type of stuff, and kind of built it up. And so being able to just like stack up that type of stuff was huge for us.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's cool. So going to, you know, we talked about producing, but going to like DJing and performing, like when did you guys get into that? And then do you guys do it for hip hop and, you know, EDM, or do you guys just do it for EDM as Nbdy Nprtnt?
Right now it's just EDM.
Okay.
But we play hip hop in our sets.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sick. I
Yeah.
love
Yeah,
that.
I mean,
love that a
like
lot.
we like to play everything, but I mean, in terms of like starting DJing, like because when I started DJing in college, I had that S4, and then he was producing, and I brought that S4 home with me. God bless that thing. Paid like, I don't know, my friend like $100. I was like, I'll just buy it out from you. He's like, all right, because he was like over it, and I was like, this is dope as shit. Like I'm gonna do some sick shit with this.
Right.
And so then I came home and I brought it home with me, and slowly but surely we started mixing and just playing around in the little S4. And once you kind of get the fundamentals of like mixing and DJing, it's pretty translatable to other setups. You just have to figure out where things are.
Yeah.
And so being able to start on that and just get the fundamentals of like beat matching and like what a good transition sounds like, and being able to get levels right and everything like that was big. And then jumping into getting CDJs that we have now, we basically have every standard club festival setup. So the CDJs 2000s and then a 900X mixer.
I have no idea what those are. So.
Yeah.
Basically any photo you see at a major festival of like the decks, that's what we have.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
that jumped up on the list too of buying things. He was very happy about that.
Yeah.
But I was at like the bottom, and then we got our tax return.
Yeah.
And I was like, let's do it. We need to go full strength on the DJing because we were going so hard on the producing end of getting our studio ready.
Yeah.
We are like, let's take one more step forward. And we have people come through to play on them with us all the time. And it's like we learn stuff from them. They learn stuff from us.
Mm-hmm.
Helped us out a lot with getting people in there and just having music conversations before and after we DJ as well.
Yeah. And you guys work with Smile High, David from Smile High, right?
Yes.
So how'd you
definitely.
guys meet him? And then, you know, was Smile High the first community that got you into DJing, or did you work with other people?
Not necessarily.
No.
Okay.
We started our first like gig. One of our boys went to Chico, and
Shout out Pike Chico.
yeah, for real. So we went up there for a weekend. Cesar Chavez is like their biggest weekend, and we were like, yo, like let us DJ. So we DJed like 3 nights in a row, just like threw the fuck down. It was so sick.
Damn.
And like being able to go up there and like, we didn't plan the sets. It was like, we're just gonna make a playlist of like 3 hours. We're just gonna go through it, see what we can do. Like we can't plan that type of shit, especially at a college party when you need to read the crowd. You need to see like, are people fucking with it? Are people like, there'd be songs where like the first drop goes and people are fucking just getting it. It was like, okay, we're gonna let this one play out, and then what can we follow up with? And so I think that was super helpful in terms of like being able to read crowds and like mixing on the fly. So that was when we first started. But the Smile High stuff, the first one we played was San Hochella.
Yeah, that all started with a DM to David. I met him in high school like once.
Okay.
And we've been friends on Facebook for like years. And I've always seen him doing music stuff, and like kind of like how you were on our Instagram before, like we showed up, like I like stalk people who do music things.
Oh, yeah,
I'm always like
sure.
kind of like keeping my eye.
Yeah.
I'm like looking at him like, what you doing? Okay, I see you grinding. And I just sent him a DM. I was like, hey, it's been too long. Like we've talked about this before. Like let's go grab a drink and just talk about music.
Yeah.
And we went to downtown Campbell, grabbed a beer at Sushi Con, and went back to my studio and our studio. Sorry.
Whoa. Excuse me?
Whoa.
We pay the same amount of rent.
Studio.
Right?
Yeah, that's very true.
Watch it.
And we just talked about music. I showed him some stuff, and he was extremely, extremely stoked to meet up with us. And a week and a half later, we played San Hochella for him.
The one that just happened this year?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I went to that.
Oh,
to
yeah.
that one.
We played.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So we had like we were the first DJ, so it was like literally like light outside still.
Oh, okay.
30-minute set, super simple. We just threw it together in a week, practiced it, went out there, had fun, but that actually got us to work with all the people we are with now.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
4 different artists from San Jose we are working with.
Who are they?
Dav at Active Poet, Shecky,
Dehan.
no, he did not play.
Oh yeah, he was not there.
Then there
Thick
is
Rick.
Thick Rick.
Shout out Thick
Oh, yeah.
Rick. Thick Rick is the thickest.
And then, is there a 4th one right there? There was. Who was it? I counted this earlier to make sure
we
we
totally did. Dav, Rick,
Shecky,
Shecky. I don't fucking know.
ourselves. I don't know. David. We can just
Someone else.
We're not making music with David yet, but we're doing
good,
stuff
all
with
good.
him.
Okay.
And so we started, like, we went in, we searched all the people who were playing with us. We were like,
Right.
hey man, like, who's this guy? We like his stuff. Let's make sure we meet him. Let's make sure we give him our card and say, we got a studio. Let's make music.
Right.
And so we went out and did that with Kevin, with Dav, and we got them to come into our studio, and we ended up making music with them because we aligned on so many different things. And it all started because I DM'd David, and now we're doing a show at 10:15 Folsom with them. With
Yeah,
him
that's a
and
big
Jackie.
deal.
Yeah, that's gonna be
That's so
huge.
sick.
We're super stoked for it.
Yeah, super excited for a show in SF. It will already be out probably by the time this drops, but y'all catch the recap. Kevin's making it.
Oh shit! Too much pressure now.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't fuck it up.
Oh damn it! Now that's really cool. Like
Yeah.
I feel like, and I talked about this with David from Small High. Like
Mm-hmm.
building a community is really gonna help you guys like succeed together.
Yeah.
And like it's really hard to do it all by yourself.
For sure.
And even with just you guys as partners, right? Like, working on a craft together with the same vision, or at least still trying to figure it out together. But
Yeah.
you guys have this vibe that you guys have right now. Like
Yeah.
I really see that you guys are best friends.
Nah,
No.
don't put that on me.
Okay. Partners.
Whoa.
Not
Yeah,
that
it's
kind of-
2019. Don't
Loki.
chill.
No, Loki. Business partners.
business partners. Yeah. Anyways, just seeing you guys working together, like I really like to see, that kind of friendship, that kind of partnership. And the Small High community is really strong.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I really
it's
see it.
sick.
And talking with David, talking with Kevin, like everyone has love for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so even both of them said like, get you guys on to the podcast. So
Hey.
Yeah,
they all-
shout them
it's
out.
all love.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah,
Shecky,
yeah.
Kevin, you're the man. We're gonna finish that track soon. Looking at the camera now. David, we're gonna keep doing stuff with him. I think we got something out in October we're gonna do with him as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just want to help other people, and they feel the same way.
Yeah.
We want to mentor people who are below us, and help other people at the same level as us keep doing what they want to do and keep going forward. And we want to start like a hub at our studio, and that's kind of what like Smile High Community is. He's connecting all these people, and we're kind of doing the same thing but in a different fashion.
Right.
So when we link up, it's kind of just like us helping everybody together, and we're all just gonna keep going
Yeah.
somewhere.
So you said you're working on a track with Shecky.
Yeah.
What else are you guys working on with other artists,
too many
or even
songs.
for yourself?
So we have the 8 songs with Dav at Active Poet.
Yeah, Lighthearted coming soon.
Yeah, we're doing an 8-song EP with him. That's
That's-
gonna be so sick.
Produced by Josh and Rob.
So we
How,
have
how
that.
soon?
By the end of, it will be done by the end of the year. I don't know when he will drop it, because this is going to be his project. We are giving him artists freedom. We are giving him a sound that I don't think he's found before, because we're not making him do anything he doesn't normally do, or like not just comes to mind. He chose the beats. We produce the rest of it as from the idea, but like he chose, I want those ones. We're letting him write whatever he wants with minor corrections, we like that, we don't like that. But we're just doing everything besides the actual his part and letting him do his thing, and they're coming out so good that like normally you make a project 8 tracks, throw away 2 of them, right? They just didn't make the cut.
Sure.
All of them fire, and
That's
they're all
sick.
his style, and they all fit with each other, but they're all so different.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's gonna be a really, really cool project. We're very excited about it. We're putting work in.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And
So we
then-
got that. We have another song with a producer named Dehan, who's super cool. We met him through David because he's homies
Yeah.
with him and like Young Citrus and Shecky. So we got a track with him. We have that Shecky track that you mentioned, and then we have another track on Nbdy Nprtnt with Dov on it. Another one.
2.
Yeah, we're gonna have so 2 now that we're writing with him, and then we're releasing another song in like a week. Another EDM song, Nbdy Nprtnt, and then we have like 2 remixes that we're working on.
We're working on I think 19 songs at the moment.
Yeah,
that's so crazy.
It might be 20 now.
I can't imagine working on 19 videos. I don't know how you guys are keeping like everything organized. How do you guys do that?
We keep lists.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean
communication
and lists is huge, especially because we need, like, I'm the type of person, like, if I don't have like structure of where I'm going, kind of going back to like being sports, like in college, I rode for all 4 years. Like, it was wake up, I practice, I go to school, I come home, do my homework, like do what I need to do. I had this like just this checklist of like things I need to do. And so being able to have that, like, I'll write myself a checklist every day that I cross things off, like my goals for the day or whatever. And then another huge thing that's been helpful for us is like just visual stuff. So in the studio, we have a big whiteboard with all the tracks that we're working on, this kind of progress of them. So like, okay, these tracks need vocals. This is going from like production to the mix down section. And so just seeing that list and being able to like prioritize things by like, okay, this is the farthest along, and then kind of trickles down from there has been super helpful, just because you can see it and you're like, okay, I know I need to come and do this today. I need to do this today. So it's been nice.
Yeah, and I'm the opposite. So I'm always thinking about everything. I'm always like, what do I need to do tomorrow before I go to bed? What do I need to do today when I'm in the shower in the morning? Like, I'm always thinking about that stuff. And I realized over the past 2 years, like, I can expect things to get done at a certain pace if I'm not communicating that with him. Because he's writing a list down on what he thinks needs to be done. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, hey, we're doing this today. Like, oh, I'm doing this. Like, I'm doing this. I'm writing a list in my head.
Right.
But I'm not actually telling him. So, like, over the past, probably like a year ago, it started getting a lot better of our communication on what needs to be done on every single track. And then also what we need to do to take each track to the next level. Because there's steps, there's like production, there's mixing, there's mastering, or like what stages of each are we in. And I'm the guy who just sits down, listens to a track, and I'm like, oh, this is what I need to do on it. Like, this is the thing. And he's the opposite.
Yeah.
He like sits down at a track and he's just like,
literally.
But like he hears that there's things wrong.
Yeah.
But like he's just kind of like, I don't know. And he starts doing stuff. And then eventually he'll like slowly hit things that I probably would have hit. But I'm the opposite. Like, I hear things and I'm like, okay, this is what I need to do to get it to this point.
Right.
And so what we actually just talked about is we now are going to make we haven't done it yet, but we designed it. It's a list, and it has checkpoints for every stage of producing a song from start to finish, and then also kind of like suggestions on like how to get it to the next step. So if you're like, well, I did all those, but it's still not ready for the next step, like here's a little comment on like how to get that little extra to get it to the next point.
Right.
Yeah.
So have you heard of like Kanban, the Kanban method, or anything like that?
No, please
so
enlighten me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think this originated from like car manufacturing, but like, they have a list of features of all the things that they want to put in a car. Yeah. And like, obviously they release every year.
Yeah.
So, each team or each department is working on like this feature, and they're just adding it to like, to do, in progress, done.
Yeah.
And then like they're slowly bringing it all until the year ends. And then they say, oh, okay, this is what we have. This is what we're going to release. Yeah. And then like, they have different progresses, and it's kind of remind me of what you guys have. And this is what like software engineers and software companies do. You have lists of like different statuses of each project, and like keep track, and then you add notes if you want to, we need to do this. Don't forget this. Don't forget that. And like, there are a ton of like websites that do that now. Like, have you heard of like Airtable, Trello, all of those?
If it's not related to audio, we haven't thought about it.
I'm a business major, and I'm like, nope, that sounds cool though. Like,
it's pretty sick. Like those tools really help me try to stay organized with like all my videos.
I'm gonna need that list.
I'll send it to you. I rarely work on too many projects in parallel like you guys.
God bless you.
You guys are crazy doing 15
we didn't mean to.
Songs.
We just met so many dope people in such a short amount of time, thanks to David, and we can't let opportunity pass up.
Oh yeah.
So that's why like Shecky's song got pushed down like 3 songs. Because like we made other things after it that got prioritized above it.
Yeah.
But also like Shecky's song's like a gem, so like we want to make sure we have like the mental capacity to make sure we nail it.
Gets the right.
And then also get him in here to work on it with us too.
Right.
because we don't want it to be like, hey, like we did like the first half together and then the second half we just did, and then he's like, well, I don't like this part, and we're like, oh, too bad.
Right.
You know, we want his input, we want his flavor, we want his style.
Right. So you guys have like deadlines, but you also have like weights, right? In terms of like, oh, you know, Shecky got pushed down, but we still want to put priority on this, especially since it's been there for a while.
Yeah,
for
like,
sure.
Yeah.
It sucks
Definitely.
sitting on shit. And that's like one thing that we're trying to work on is just like we call it QQE, quality, quantity, and efficiency.
Yeah.
So like just getting like figuring out the process for each one of these songs, and like we're still learning, like it's still a learning experience, like having that list and like getting that next checklist to where we see like, okay, now we need to go here, we need to go this, like how do we get to that next step? But like just focusing on quality, quantity, and efficiency, that way like we don't have to sit on this track for a couple months. Like we get it, we record it, it's out in like a couple weeks, or we're done with it at least in a couple weeks.
We finished the track in 3 days last week.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. That's
We had a
quick
rush job.
turnaround, right?
Yeah. One of our friends, we had a rush job for him, and he was like, yo, I have the idea. We have to do this and record it. So we produced it the first night, recorded one person the second night, recorded the third person the third night, and then mixed it, master it, done, sent it out. And it sounds great.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. But getting that like that workflow of just how can we get this done as quick as possible, but also with the highest quality that we want.
Yeah.
So how do you know when your track is done? Because like
It's never done.
That's what I was gonna ask. Like I feel like sometimes we have this like sort of perfectionism where like, you know, for a video, for a track, you see a lot of things that you want to change, and like up to a certain point you just have to release it, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys ever run into that issue?
We held on to one of our first rap songs for over a year.
Over a year, damn. Okay, I've never.
The song and the production of it was better than our mixing and mastering abilities at the time, because we didn't have the software, we didn't have the knowledge.
Yeah.
And so we kept something, and we would slowly every few months work on it and just like make it better. And then finally we were like, yo, like it's go time. Like we just put out a good song and it sounds good. We have another one to follow it up with. Like, let's finish this. Let's do it right. And yeah, it was a whole year.
Yeah.
We have a song that we recorded 2 years ago that we are still sitting on. That
What song?
Gavin.
Oh my God.
Yeah, a guy I used
That's
to
how I
work with,
forgot about
amazing
it.
singer, and
Right.
it's an R&B song, and it's some of my friends' like favorite that we ever made early on, and it's just back on the shelf.
So do you guys have deadlines, or do you guys just release whenever you're ready?
We have deadlines, we make schedules, especially because we put out so much content related to our stuff.
Yeah.
But it's also like once it gets to a certain stage, we're like, oh, we can finish it in a week. We know that. We know that because our biggest thing right now, because we're still pretty fresh in the game, it's only been a few years of us producing, we need to sleep on it. We have to, if I'm done mixing and mastering and I have a final product, if I don't listen to it the next day on like X amount of speakers after I slept, like on like what I did, I will not be confident that it is ready for everyone to hear on every sound system.
Yeah. I agree. I think even when I make a video, when I edit a video and I'm almost ready to release it, I'll watch it on my phone, I'll watch it on my laptop.
Everything.
I'll like, you know, if it's like a podcast, I'll listen to it in the car. Like I have to make sure the audios are good. Hopefully they're good.
Yeah.
the video is good and all of that. And so I feel like, you know, I'm like you, where I got to make sure everything is in check and before I'm ready to release.
Yeah, we have like 10 pairs of headphones, like 3 different sets of speakers, his car, my car, I have speakers at my house. Like we tested on everything. I go into Guitar Center that I work at and play it on the loudspeakers there.
That's cool.
Bump it as loud as I can, make sure there's nothing that like would pop out on like a large festival or like club system that like we can't hear in ours.
Yeah.
I also think like going back to the finishing point, there's times where like I'll be working on something and I'm just sitting there just doing shit just to do shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, why am I doing this? And so I get to that point of like, I'm not doing anything that I hear. I'm like, oh, I feel like maybe this might work or maybe this might work. So getting to like that point, and they're always like, you're always going to watch it or listen back to it or whatever after it comes out and be like, I could have done this better. I could have done this better. But like being able to take what you did on that last one and then doing it on the next one is super helpful. But there's definitely been times where I get to a point and I may not think it's finished, but there's nothing that I hear that I need to fix or that needs to be adjusted or anything. So I'm like, okay, like if we're working on this mix, like we're working on a track right now that we're trying to come out with probably like next week or 2 weeks. And I get to a point and I'm just like, I'm done doing things. Like, I don't think this thing needs anything else. And so we'll sleep on it or whatever. We check it and then I can come back to it. And then you get to that point again of like, I don't think I need to do anything. Like, yeah, there are probably things I could be better, but we would have had to do it then, or had to do it, in this other time, and then taking that to the next track and like building off of like what you learned from the last one.
We're also mixing and mastering our own music, which like everybody says don't do, because like you made it in the same room. So like all of you overlook some of the problems because you're used to it.
Right,
so like you're kind of used to it. So we
gotta have fresh ears.
We always know it can be better, but once we get content with it, we're good. Like there's 2 songs that we released probably like a couple months ago that we just butchered. Our mixing, the song sounded really good. And then our mixing and mastering absolutely butchered it. We tried to make it extremely loud because we were like, oh, like we want to compete with all these people with the loudness and stuff. And they sound like ass.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And like some people still comment on it like, oh, dude, that's sick. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, are you deaf?
I think it was a big reality check too. Like, so one of our like big inspirations now producing music is like Louis the Child. Like we fuck with them heavy. We love their shit. Yeah, like they're the dopest. Like they're fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And
there's also 2 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's also 2 of them.
And we'll like do reference tracks for some of our songs. So we'll have like our master in there, and then we're like, okay, like let's compare it to this was a Child track. And then I'm like working on it. I'm like, bro, we can't get it to this. Or like ours doesn't sound like this. And it's just like, that's fucking professionally done. Like there is a mastering engineer that's working on this professionally. There's a professional mixing engineer that's on this. They have an A&R that's sitting in the studio with them working on this, like helping them with this, that, and the other thing. And like, I need to remind myself, like, we don't have that. We're working towards that. But like, you can only, you can't compare yourself to, like, that's one of my biggest like problems.
Oh, yeah,
compare
for
myself
sure.
to this like high level stuff, but which is like, gives me that hunger at the same time. So it's kind of a trade-off. You have something to say. You look very
yeah, no, you look very antsy.
Oh, man, it's a quote. And it's, you can't compare your something to somebody's highlight reel.
Oh, yeah.
Like but you're behind the scenes to somebody's highlight reel. Yeah. Let me say it. You can't compare your behind the scenes to someone's highlight reel.
There you go.
Quote me on that. I found it on Instagram.
Perfect. I'll use that as the intro.
Right.
Yeah, I think I agree. Totally agree with that because I'm making my videos. They look like shit compared to all the professionals, even like professional YouTubers, right? And I sometimes like don't release something for a very long time because I'm just trying to iterate and iterate.
Yeah.
But like kind of going back to what you said, Josh, about I don't think I need to do anything else for this video. In my case, I'm just gonna apply what I might think I need to do for the next video.
Yeah.
And you're just iterating and you're just like continuously progressing on your next craft, on your next project and all of that. So I highly like suggest anyone that's like working on a project to never dwell too much on it, because you're actually going to destroy it if you put too much time and like sit on it for way too long,
or destroy yourself too. Like I get in these slumps where I'm just like, I'll be depressed, like I'll be straight up, like exactly. I just literally get depressed, like I don't want to work on shit, or like
because I got depression
and I'm just like working on shit. I'm like, fuck, dude, like we're never gonna get to this. Like because I'm comparing myself to other people. Like that's probably one of my biggest issues. But like I said, it's that trade-off, right? It's like you want it gives you that hunger, but you expect yourself to just get there. Yeah, it just takes time.
I hate every song we put out because we listen to it so much.
Dude, me too.
It ruins it for me. By the time it's done, I'm just like, throw it away, be done with it. Like, move off to the side, on to the next. What's the next stuff? Because like what we have now that we're working on is so much better than like the next song we're dropping. Even the next song after that, we have better stuff, but it's like, it's just not time yet. It's not time. It's not done. It's not the right moment for our brand. It's like, we're just, So it's like, I know where we're at, like on the future, but it sucks that like we have to drop something now that we're not happy with because we listen to it so much.
I mean, that's
it's
how it is.
Live. I know. What do you edit your videos on?
Adobe Premiere.
Yeah, Adobe Gang.
Yeah, dude. I love Adobe.
Sponsor us. Please. Your shit expensive as hell.
Dude, this podcast is expensive, so please sponsor me too.
Right.
But I feel like, looking up to people, for you guys, Louis the Child, like looking up to someone to continuously improve will get you motivated. And I think that's
especially when they're
great.
Younger than you.
Oh, shit, they're younger?
Oh, they're like 21 and 22.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and then there's another like fuck my life. Like I'm 25. Like Jesus
Christ.
I
ain't worried about the age thing. I worry about the age thing.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're starting late, it's fine.
Like Dylan Francis is old as shit. Diplo's like 40.
Diplo, no, he's older than that. He's like late.
He's past 40 now.
I think it's like
he's like 41 or something.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no, he definitely got over the hump.
Oh man.
Yeah,
that just blew my mind. Like he's old as shit. bro.
Thing about Diplo is like he changes it up. Like he knows what's like the trend, and like he kind of picks up on that.
For sure.
And he's willing to work with anyone. You know, it's
People
like,
call him a wave rider, but he's really like a wave
starts the
starter.
wave.
Yeah,
I agree.
like he's on the wave like before anybody else.
I agree.
Like surfers are cutting him off. Oh wow, that was a gross. Oh man.
I don't know about that actually. I think that Diplo stays in front a majority of the time, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite DJs.
Definitely.
And like he like from Major Lazer, like I loved Major Lazer stuff, and Major Lazer in 2010 was like one of my favorite, like him and Switch.
Yeah.
And then like, you know, they constantly changed, but you can tell that they were growing in size, growing in fan base and all of that. So, you know, Diplo is a visionary.
Yeah.
I really think so.
I think another thing about that too is like, we just said he's like 41. Like the fool's been in the fucking game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he started young in his teens, you know, in Philly, like doing all this shit. But like, you have to look back and like, he put in the time. Like he's put in his hours, he's put in his work, and like he's gotten to where he has because of the time and effort that he's put in. And so I think like taking away from that too is like super helpful.
Yeah, and he does so many different things. He has like that Major Lazer show.
Major Lazer. Diplo.
That's why we love him too.
Hella projects.
Yeah. We produce so many different things too, and like he's on stuff with Justin Bieber, and then he's also
he's running. He has Matt. I mean, he's not running, but he owns Matt Decent's his shit. You know what I mean?
Matt Decent.
Like,
they have Matt Decent Block Party.
Yeah, so many different things connected to his name and his brand. And it's like that's kind of like us. Like we're doing so much.
Fun fact: Matt Decent Block Party in San Diego. I saw the first Jack U performance.
Oh.
Before they were even a thing, they weren't even headlining.
Oh,
Dylan
really?
Francis was headlining, and it was like Jack U, and I was like, "Who the fuck is Jack U?"
Yeah.
And then I like looked it up the day before, and it was like Skrillex and Diplo, and I was like,
That's
"The
so
fuck
cool.
you just say?"
Dog Blood is
so
way
that was
better than Jack U.
Yeah, that's
We saw Jack U at Hard Summer one year, and they fucked up their intro twice in a row.
Oh my god, that was hella
What,
funny.
they redid it or something?
Yeah, like they did it, fucked it up, and then did it again and fucked it up, but kept going.
The curtain goes down, and I don't know how they fucked this up.
They both hit
play. And so the song was like just off, where it was like, and like it was just fucked up, and everybody was like, "What's happening?" And then they just cut it. And I don't know, one of them was like, "Let's try that again." I was like, we looked at each other like, "They just fucked that up." He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, we got that in the archive somewhere. We got a video of it.
Oh man.
Have you guys ever messed up at a performance?
Yeah, and Chico, because we played Chico 2 years in a row for what's it called? Cesar Chavez.
Cesar Chavez.
Okay.
Yeah,
Does that get to you guys?
Josh cut the beat once.
Did I?
Yeah, just once.
I was probably blacked out. I don't remember.
Yeah, no,
That's probably why.
No, just once out of the 6 days we played up there over 2 years.
But I think that goes back to like our overthinking.
Yeah.
It's like so at San Hocello, it was like we brought a fuckload of cables. We don't know if we're gonna need them.
Dude,
but like
I handed out like 5 different cables.
But,
if you want to check, just keep it.
Yeah, but like it's like we're prepared for anything that can happen, and so like being able to like when we're on the decks, it's like okay, making sure you clear your fader, clear your effects, whatever. Just like like just overthinking, like making sure everything's good and everything like that. And so, well, fingers crossed we don't fuck shit up at 10:15. But yeah, there's been times where we hit the fader or some shit like that.
So then in that case, like, does it get to you, and then do you guys pick up like it's nothing? Or?
In the moment, you're like fuck. But
Okay.
you can't dwell on that. Like shit happens, just go on with it, like keep going. And then like the people there too, it's like, yeah, there's that 10 seconds of like, oh shit, what happened? And then a minute later, nobody even knows, like can even remember that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all about the music in the end. So that's
definitely.
cool.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, I'm excited to watch 10:15.
Dude, I'm so stoked.
I guess I'm gonna do videos.
It's gonna be fucking sick.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
dope.
It's gonna be really fun. We got a crazy set planned out. Like,
Yeah.
well, not planned, but we got a crazy
crazy
set
playlist,
list.
yeah.
Our playlist is definitely top notch.
Mucho fuego.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of songs that you're like trying to Shazam, but like they ain't even on there.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I
A lot
always
of
love that.
unreleased tracks too.
That's what.
yeah.
You'll hear the Dahan, hopefully. Maybe, depends. If he gets it to us in time, we'll hear the Dahan track. We got a track with our boy Misa that you'll hear. The new one that we're dropping next week or the week after, we'll hear that.
Then 2 weeks.
I think we have 6 of our own
There's
tracks.
a remix in there.
Unreleased 6 tracks in there.
Yeah,
A lot
I'm
of
excited
cool
for
stuff.
everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be sick.
Yeah.
10:15 will be big.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's just something, it's dope to add to that roster. Like, cause especially like that, kind of talking about when it was like having that community aspect, like you can only do so much when you're just sitting in the studio working on shit.
Yeah.
When you're not getting out face to face and meeting people, like we did one event, San Ocello, and we met these 4 people that we're working on all these tracks on with. That's just one thing. Right. And so being able to get out of our space and like going to meet more people and playing gigs and just doing that face to face kind of interaction is huge for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Cool. Well, thank you guys for coming.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Hey, it was an awful time. I really
It's-
appreciate
it's-
it. Okay.
It's terrible. I don't know if I'm going to release this actually. So it was that bad.
No, yeah, would love to have us back whenever you want.
Yeah, for sure. I'll create a video for you guys, so that'll be cool.
I'm down.
I'm
That's
definitely
fun.
definitely down. Send us everything you got. We'll definitely promote the hell out
Show
of
me
this. We
what
gotta
you
we gotta
got.
get more people on here too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate
Do you have any other producers lined up?
it. Not yet, but I'm always open
We'll let
up
the
for
people
more.
know.
Yeah, for sure.
No,
Yeah.
we definitely have some people to get in contact with you because it's a cool setup.
Yeah,
Very
this
chill
is dope.
vibe. You're a nice guy.
Appreciate it.
We appreciate it. Letting us come on here and do what we do and just be stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I play your guys' music, Child's Play. You know, I
Hey.
play you guys' mixes. So I really love you guys' stuff. And
So he's a fan.
I'm a fan.
That's
I'm
what's
not
up.
gonna
I'm
bring
kidding.
someone that I don't,
Okay.
really believe.
Oh,
in.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
Actually, you guys' music sucks.
No,
I just hate people
got
from, like,
Finally, someone
podcast.
straight up.
I got
with
this
us.
SoundCloud
Your
rapper,
shit
Little
sucks
Pan,
ass.
dude. You gotta have him on here.
All right,
Lil
I'll
Pan.
bring
Little
him in.
Pan, bro.
Little Adderall. What's up, dog?
No, yeah. Thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So if people want to follow you, what's Instagram handle, YouTube, all of that? How should they
Okay.
follow you?
Here we go.
He's better at spelling.
Nbdy Nprtnt. Nbdy space Nprtnt.
Nice.
Josh and Rob. Josh. Ampersand. Rob. Our vlog is under SKT Productions. It stands for Slap Knock Tickle. That's our record label that we release all of our shit under.
Oh, okay.
And Slap Knock Tickle Productions is our production company that we do all of our footage and content under. You have something to say, please go ahead.
Don't steal that name. We don't have it coined yet.
Well, now you shouldn't have said that.
SKT, bro. Shit.
I can cut it out.
No.
Just kidding.
No. We're good. But
And
yeah.
you guys have vlogs. It's
Yeah,
on
the
YouTube.
studio
as well.
vlog.
STEWDU.
There you go.
VLOG.
Yep, the studio vlogs. Keep the
I don't know why I
content
spelled
going.
out vlog, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What does
we're
studio
actually
stand for?
yeah.
So stew as in like studio, and then dude as in dudes,
Oh, for sure.
and then just
Sick,
be
dude.
to be tight as fuck. We're like, yo, we'll do STEW, and then dude.
It's hit bear lingo, get with it or get dropped. You know what I'm saying, dude?
I gotta
So,
get
yeah.
hit with it.
Studio vlogs. That's our
For sure,
shit.
for sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
Also, another thing, you search it. That's the only thing that comes up.
Oh,
So for the people out there,
Smart.
you want to separate yourself, get something that when you fucking search it,
Bro, he's trying to
nobody
get
other
rid of
shit
us.
comes up. Okay, I'm sorry.
no. This is good.
No, but for real though, like you
Yeah,
search
no.
studio vlogs, like that's not even a word.
Yeah.
And so like
We made that shit.
there goes that shit, So
It's always hard to find those names, so that's
Exactly.
At least you guys got that down.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank you.
Josh. Thanks, Rob.
No problem. Hey man, you did great.